Hello, I'm back with another video. Produced this little shit box. Obviously, we know that the NAB show 2024 has kicked off this week. There's a lot of news coming out about new cameras and lots of exciting stuff. And yesterday we had the announcement from Blackmagic that they have a couple of new cameras coming out. And live stream went on for quite a while. But I think the two biggest things, well, for me, everybody has been waiting for, everybody saw the banner outside the NAB show, the URSA Cine. Wow, what a camera. The URSA Cine absolutely looks incredible. I mean, I feel like Blackmagic have literally thrown everything at that camera and it looks amazing. That new sensor looks incredible. And they've also announced that they've got a 17K version, which just, yeah, blows my mind. 17K, I can't even bear to think about that, or the storage that needs. I'm excited to see what happens with that camera. But obviously this video, I really want to get into the new 6K PYXIS camera. I think it's the PYXIS camera, which they've brought out, which is everybody has been calling for probably the last decade. Blackmagic, can you do a boxed little cinema camera? And they've done it. They have released it. They're using the same 6K sensor out of the actual 6K Pro camera that they already have, which is a little bit interesting because for me, the rolling shutter on that is not great. And there's a lot of people on YouTube screaming and loving this camera. And I don't know if they're just getting really excited from kind of, are we still recording? Yeah. Kind of getting excited just from the get-go because Blackmagic have done something. Because for me, they're like, I'm selling my FX6, I'm selling my Komodo. That's my cat. She's not selling her Komodo. You know, I'm selling my Red. And I'm like, why would you even bother doing that? Because let's face it, the Komodo has a global shutter that is going to be way better. And the colors out of the Komodo are incredible. I know the Blackmagic has incredible colors, and I'm sure that this camera is not going to have a problem when it comes to colors. It looks incredible. I think it's locked into B-RAW, which is a little bit annoying because it's great to have an array of codecs that you can use across different projects. Now, looking on the actual Blackmagic website, it is saying that the PYXIS has a professional features you need for feature films, television programming and documentaries. However, now this same quality can be used to create cinematic content for social media, YouTube videos and more. So all those people who are screaming in the comments about the fact that you know, this camera isn't designed for social media content, it's not designed for you know, clients and stuff like that. It is. So this is where that B-RAW issue for me is definitely going to be an issue. If you're passing off your files back to an agency or a client, have they going to have the option? Are they going to be able to use B-RAW? Are they going to be able to know what to do with B-RAW? It does bring a little bit of an issue and a bit of a limitation when using this camera. So this camera is, like I say, it's got the same sensor as the 6K Pro. There's no ND, internal NDs on it, which I know for a lot of people, they're not too bothered by that. I think it would have been nice to have that. I think they've definitely got the capabilities to do that. They've just shown that in the new URSA that they've just brought out, that they've got these color balanced NDs that they're starting to roll out in the cameras. So we could have potentially got something in there. And I think a lot of people would have paid a little bit more for this camera to be a little bit better. So the UK price of this camera is actually £2,425. That is a really good price. If you are somebody who is coming into the filmmaking space, then this camera without a doubt is gonna be an absolute game changer. Nice little boxed version of this camera over the original 6K Pocket, which is a horrendous kind of build. I don't know why they ever did that. That camera is definitely not a pocket camera. But now having this boxed version of this camera, I think it's going to be a really wicked little camera for £2,500. That is, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just reading on here. URSA Cine viewfinder and accessories. I'm not sure that this camera comes with a viewfinder, so you're going to have to buy the viewfinder totally separate. So that is going to be a little bit more of an extra cost. So although this camera is like $3,000, you're definitely going to be paying more for the accessories and everything that you're going to need. So it's not going to be super cheap like we are probably all wishing. So one of the things that I'm loving on this camera is obviously you've got the open gate, and I think open gate is a really, really useful tool in the day and age that we are living with. Vertical and horizontal filmmaking becoming a big thing. I've seen quite a few little shorts and indie films being shot in vertical, so it's you know, people are trying to do more with that. And if you were creating social content for people and businesses, open gate is really, really useful. So one of the newest things that I've seen on this camera, which is really a game changer, is having the ability to connect your phone and use your 5G or 4G for your mobile data. So when you're filming, you're going to be able to upload kind of, you know, low resolution clips, so you can actually be getting edited while you're shooting it, which is absolutely going to be game changer on some projects where you want to be having a quick turnaround on edit. You're going to be able to upload it maybe to a remote editor. So that's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of people moaning about the fact that there is no option for a V-mount on this camera. So this camera is now using the Sony BPU batteries, which are pretty good batteries, and it's going to give you about 3 hours life on this camera, is what Blackmagic are saying. For me, that doesn't really bother me that it's got these smaller batteries. The original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera was awful. Battery life was terrible. You ended up buying loads of different batteries and they didn't last at all long. So that was the really annoying part of that camera a little bit. So having the BPU on this and get 3 hour life out of a battery is incredible. They're quite readily available, and cheap, which is really good. So I'm sure there's going to be a V-mount adapter coming out for this camera, but for me, and I can talk from experience of using my FX6, is that I have a V-mount adapter on that, but I also still use the BPU batteries because it gives a really good flexibility for that camera. I can rig it light or I can rig it heavy depending on what I'm filming and the style that I want to get out of it. So I think this is going to kind of lead into what they've done here with the new PYXIS. Now, although I talked about the rolling shutter and I'm saying that's the bad points on the camera, for the bad points on the camera, there's definitely some really good points. And one thing I really do like is the screen on the side. Yes, it doesn't flip out, which is slightly irritating. I think the screen in general is a really great screen. And one thing that annoys me a lot on my FX6 is not being able to scrub through the footage like you can do on the Pocket 6K and this screen. You're going to be able to like go through it really easy and show clients when you're playing it back, and that is a game changer. Also, this screen is 1500 nits, so 1500 nits. That's super bright, so it's going to be good outdoors. You're going to be able to see that screen really clearly. So I'm looking forward to seeing this in real life, if I'm honest, and seeing how that screen actually looks. Obviously, jump in the comments below and tell me what you are thinking about this camera. Is this something you are going to get? Are you going to be, like we mentioned earlier, are you going to be selling your high-end cinema cameras and your soul just to get this camera? Is it game-changing enough? Now, the front mount on the camera is going to be available in EF mount, L mount, and PL mount. So you're still going to have the options to do that. It looks also on the front of the camera as well, like the mount is actually on a plate. So I'm wondering if that is something you're going to be able to adapt in future. Are you going to be able to buy the plates and swap them out? I think for me, if I was buying this camera, I'd definitely probably go with an EF or an L mount version. Probably the L mount version for me at the moment, because I have some L mount to PL adapters. So I think that's going to be the best way to go. So I guess at the end of the day, are you going to sell your high-end camera to buy this new camera? I think that's kind of what I wanted to jump on here and talk about, really, because I've just seen so many people talking about selling such great cameras to buy this, and I just don't see why you would honestly do that. Why would you do that? I'd love to know in the comments what you're thinking about this camera. What are you going to do? Are you going to go for it? Are you going to wait? Did it hit the mark? I feel like Blackmagic are just so good at holding off, and it's kind of, I'm going to use a bit of a golf analogy now. It's kind of like standing on that par 3, teeing off for the win, and you just shank it completely right into the hedge and just miss the mark. And for me, that's what Blackmagic seem to do so well, is just miss the mark. You've had such a long time to develop, and you've feedback from people using your cameras, your customers, and you just go in and produce this strange little camera. Whereas I feel like you could have just redesigned the actual URSA 4.6 and produced an absolute outstanding camera, which would have cleaned up on the whole market. But you just decided not to do that. You decided to bring out a 12K and a 17K URSA and just produce this little shit box. This little camera that is an iteration of an existing camera that was a bit of a hit and miss anyway. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. I'd love to know what you guys think, because that's the only reason I'm making this video, because I want to kick it off in the comments and just get that argument going. I know the Blackmagic community is a little sensitive community, so it's going to be great to have a, I'm expecting the feedback to be fantastic, and I don't know shit. So let's all talk about it in the comments below, and I'll see you on another video soon. See you later.